What's the Renaissance? You didn't learn this in our class? No, I must have been sleeping in her class when she. No, I must have been sleeping in her class when she taught this. I wasn't really like paying attention or anything. I was trying to stare at that cute girl in the corner. Okay, I'll teach you. The Renaissance was a period in time where it was known as the Reformation period and also as the rebirth of mankind back then. Wow! But what were men and women like during this time? Men and women during this time were known as Renaissance men and women. Cause what's a Renaissance man? A Renaissance man was a man who excelled in all fields and was praised as a universal man. And a Renaissance woman was considered to be an upper class woman and should know the classics and be charming. So basically, Renaissance women, they was like trophy wives. Basically. So yeah, what were the like special values of the people of the Renaissance back then? Back then, during the Renaissance time, their special values was the value of humanism. What's humanism? Humanism was an intellectual movement that was focused on human potential and achievements of what humans could actually achieve. What I'm trying to say is, during the Renaissance period, men were trying to grasp the understanding of how the world and the universe works, how time works, and they were trying to understand more things in life. Wow, that's incredible! Were there any famous people during the Renaissance? Like, we got that 21 Savage right now. That little Uzi Vert, he popping off. Were there any famous people during the Renaissance? Yes, there were a lot of famous people during the Renaissance. For example, there was have you ever heard of Leonardo da Vinci? I think he like painted the Mona Lisa or something. Did he do that? Am I wrong? Did he do that? Yes, he did. He did paint the Mona Lisa. That was only just one of his great creations. Leonardo da Vinci was a true Renaissance man. He was a painter, a sculptor, and also a scientist. He sounded like a show off to me. I could do those things if I wanted to, but my teachers be tripping. Whatever. He also produced paintings like The Last Supper. The one with Jesus sitting at the table eating with all his disciples. So were there any other famous people during the Renaissance, or was it just Leonardo da Vinci? Of course there was other famous people during the Renaissance. Leonardo da Vinci was just the tip of the iceberg for the Renaissance. There was Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael. Wow. Well, so did the Renaissance change any other things like they writing or something? Yes, it did. Back then, the Renaissance writers reflected on their time when they wrote. They wrote in vernacular. What's vernacular mean? It means writing in your native tongue or native language. When the Renaissance writers wrote, they portrayed self-expression and individuality of their own subjects, or sometimes just how they thought the world worked when they came up on a new invention or a new thing. Renaissance people in general loved art, music, and even poetry. It was at this time, as Ralph was explaining to Cuz about the Renaissance, Cuz started imagining how the Renaissance actually looked in some of the paintings.